Uh, 3 games in 8 days. You behind that stretch there. What do you take from that group? That stretch there that as you go to I don't know, 3 of the next 4 at home or 4 of the next 5 at home. Or?
4 of the next 5. Yes, because we have 2 home, 1 away, and then coming back from break, we have 2 home again. So, yeah, again, I take the group has been resilient. Even on the road, if we've gotten behind, we've managed to get ourselves back. We got another road shutout. That's 2 and I think 4 or 5 games with Seattle and this one. So again, I think we've shown some resiliency. We've played 9 of 14 on the road, which is always going to be a challenge, and it's some tough places. So I think it's there. I wish we would have closed out the Minnesota game. We didn't start great, but the way we were able to come back and get on top, I wish we would have taken 2 more points out of that one. But again, it showed the group is resilient and finds a way in different circumstances to get something out of each of these games. And now it's about turning 1 into 3, and it's about some home cooking now. And hopefully we can, we know we're going to have our fans behind us, and hopefully we can start to take some 3 points at home, because that's going to be huge for us in the standings.
Have you seen this group sort of grow during this stretch? And like you said, 9 of 14 at home. How you think you guys have handled
Sure.
the road stretch, and how you guys sort of develop and grown through it?
Yeah, I think the group has managed just the different variables that happen when you're on the road. Especially when you're on these longer road trips where you play midweek on the road and then you got to go East Coast again. There's just a lot of there's planes, there's trains, automobiles. Right? You're laying around in your hotels for long stretches, and getting that energy up to get back out on the field and to play is not as easy as it kind of sounds, because it's lazy when you're on the road a little bit. And so I think guys have just managed it. Different guys have stepped up. Players who maybe weren't playing a ton step into games. The guys who are coming in reserves are having an impact. So the full group, I think, has been resilient through this stretch of games, and I think that's critical when you're playing 9 out of 14 on the road. There's a certain level of resiliency that you got to build as a group to make sure that you're taking points along these stretches.
Is there a timetable update on Joseph, and how do you sort of handle his absence here?
We'll see how he progresses through the course of the week. I would say he's very questionable for Chicago. We know he'll be ready by the time we come back from the break, but we'll just kind of see how he goes through the course of this week and his progression. It's a challenging one too, because I think I've mentioned that he's on like 45 games for what would be his calendar season, which started in August for him in the European season, and so this is kind of an ideal time for him to be able to recover a little bit and then be able to catch the mid and the second third and the final third of the season, or the second half of the season. So not ideal in the way we had to go about it from an injury standpoint, but he does need the rest and recovery in order to be able to be as fresh as possible down the second half of the season. So we're not going to rush him, is kind of my point on that, but at the same time, we'll see how he progresses this week as we go into the longer stretch of this what's going to be 3 more games next week. Sorry, not this week, next week.
Yeah. Right. Good. You lose that pace though. Coming out of there. How do you sort of kind of, I guess Johnny Perez might be a guy who might get some looks every now and then. But how does his absence sort of, I guess, change how you guys approach a game or attack?
Yeah, I mean, with the guys, with Gabe, with Johnny, with Diego, even Dejan at times, we just got to make sure that we're still getting those stretch runs. The runs that are going in behind. I thought we had some of those runs. I thought our problem in the last game in Charlotte wasn't necessarily that we weren't getting those types of runs, is that we were stealing numbers from the front half of the field to be involved in the possession, and then when we got into the front half of the field, we were deficient in our numbers. And so, but I thought we were able to get behind in some of these circumstances, just not able to get the right numbers in the right place at the right time to be able to execute at the speed we needed to. So we just need those guys to be mindful of constantly making those runs, stretching the opposition, getting behind. They have enough speed to be able to do it. It's just going to be a commitment and timing for them. And obviously, Johnny is a guy who is going to play a factor in this stretch of games, and I look forward to kind of seeing what he's going to bring into the equation. Anyone there?
If not, I got one.
Of course you do. Doesn't seem like anyone else is.
Rob, go ahead.
Okay.
Hey.
Hey, Greg, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, thanks so much for your time. At the break, it seems like it'll be the halfway point of the season. Are you satisfied with what you've seen from the team so far? And maybe can you highlight some of the positives and the things that you think the team still needs to work on? Obviously, we've beat the set piece with the stick
Sure.
a couple
Yeah,
times
sure.
already. So besides that, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how these 3 games play out because 2 of them are at home. I think those are really important games. I think by and large, I'm pleased with where we're at, especially even from the points perspective. And the reason I say that is we've played 9 on the road. If you average taking 1 on the road, then that's 9 points. If you're taking 3 at home, which you'd like to do, that would be what, 12 for us, right? After 5, wait, we 5 at home so far.
Yeah.
5 at home, that would be 15. We're right around that point total. That's why these 2 home games are so important, because if we can take 3 points in these games, some version of that, then I think we'll be exactly where we want to be from a points perspective. Things that I think we've seen, things that we're really good at, and what we're going to continue to work towards, and things that we need to continue to work on. I think, like you said, the defensive set piece side, but for me, there's a little bit more inside of that. I think we've got to be a little bit better in our transition defending. I think at times our counter press hasn't been effective enough, and it's been too easy for the opposition to get out of their half the field and into our half the field and deep into our half the field. So we've been talking about counter pressing our positions, our collective thoughts and ideas in the counter press to make sure that we're stopping the verticality of the opposition. We're not letting them get deep, because sometimes that does translate into us attacking set piece as well. So that's one thing we want to continue to improve upon. The other is, again, just making sure at times when we're in our possessions that we have the right numbers in the right places, and we're not stealing numbers from ahead of the attack to be a part of the possession, or from the right side to get to the left side, but to create that balance that will, I think that's going to help us in some of our final actions and also in some of our counter pressing stuff. So, and then defensive set pieces we've already talked about. But these are details inside of these games, and then it's just coming down to execution. There's games where if we executed a little better, I think we take 3 points from the game, and we didn't on that day, and we continue to grow as a group and try to, again, execute more efficiently throughout the remaining games.
Greg, so Amito Garces has been with the team for a bit now, but he hasn't seen any time. He was on the
Sure.
bench last game. Might he be in your plans for the coming stretch?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be available, and we will looking forward to the right moment and the right opportunity. He's learning certain things about whether it's our attacking rotations and what position we would want him in, and where he's going to need to be, and what his solutions would look like, so we can simplify some of the game for him in possession. The defensive stuff in terms of, again, positioning, reading, counter pressing. We love the athleticism. He's going to be a great asset for us. So it's just kind of building him in, not rushing him into the equation. He's a 22-year-old young defender that has qualities that can really help us. But it's just getting him comfortable and understanding the kind of our tactical nuances, so that he has a good sense of what he's doing in the game in the context of our group, and then his qualities can come out inside of that. So we're just not trying to rush him in. We're trying to give him enough of an opportunity to get comfortable inside the group and be ready to go when he's ready.
And then finally, this might be a Will question. I'm not sure if you can comment, but transfer season is coming up quickly on us. The Galaxy have been linked with players coming in. Reports out of Australia have players leaving to go to Australia. Can you comment on anything?
What I will comment on in the short term is that as we move towards the summer, we're going to continue to try to make the team better. Improve on our group, add in certain ways that we feel it will help us, not just for the rest of the season, but also going into future seasons. And we're also going to be looking at opportunities for whether it's some of our young players and places that they might be able to go to, either to continue to develop and get more playing time, or to continue to grow in their careers. So all of those things are on the table, and you're trying to prepare as many of those things right now, so that when the windows do open, you're able to act as quickly as possible. So some things that we read are accurate, some are not, as it always is. I'll leave Will maybe to talk to a little bit more on the specifics, but there's always going to be an attempt at every window to try to improve the roster.
Cheers, Rick. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
One more goalkeeping situation.
Yep.
Is that open competition now, or you sort of see that playing out here next?
Well, I think John is earned our starting position for now. I wanted to get Novak, who has been training outstanding, and we really believe in his upside a game. I thought he was very good. I don't think he had a ton to do, and on the goalkeeping side, his decisions in possession were good. We're going to keep finding these opportunities like this to keep getting Novak some opportunity, and we keep assessing along the way. But I think John has done a really good job for us. His presence and leadership is important, and he's made some big saves along the way too. So I don't want to create confusion between the two of them, but I also want to make sure that we are moving, as I said to John, that we're moving Novak along his development because we do really like his long term and his ability. So they are a team, and they're going to keep working together to be our goalkeepers. So, yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.